Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Also welcome if you are new. So today is a all day clean with me. I had a lot to get done on this day. I'm starting in baby girl's room because I had to wash her bedding. Her bedding needs to get cleaned all the time because we do allow her to have her sippy cup in bed. So there's often spills. I try to make it that she just has water at night. But there are those days where she ends up where there's leftover juice in her cup or milk or whatever. So it just needed a really good cleaning. But the other thing is we just had our windows inspected and luckily they passed the inspection. But that means I was able to take all of those stickers off the windows, which I am so happy about to have those stickers off. But also means all the windows in the house have to be cleaned because sticky residue and just stuff. So I wanted to get in the kids' rooms, give them a really good cleaning. I also got some new rug tape to put on the kids' rugs because I got sick of them sliding around, especially when I picked up Freyas rug. There was cereal and a squished cutie on her floor under the rug. So we are doing a quick tidy up. I am then going to run the robot vacuum in here, and then while that's going, I will go into the boys' room and kind of do the same thing. But this is literally all day, everything that I got done on this day, minus some of the like normal everyday stuff. I always say it's everything I got done on this day, but let's be realistic. Like there is still pick up and drop off from schools and meal making. I am sharing with you my macaroni and cheese recipe though, because we do not have a noodles and company down here. And the other night I was craving the noodles and company's macaroni and cheese with their chicken. And the closest one is in Orlando, so over an hour away, which made me really sad. So to make up for it, I made my homemade mac and cheese. Totally does not fit the GD diet, but I cheat a little bit sometimes. I try to be really good, but there are just days that you have to cheat a little. Now, trying to get the most done in a small amount of time, well, that vacuum was running in Freyas' room. I went into the boys' room, which I need to really declutter their room. But they're at an age where I don't do it without them, so I need to find time, probably over spring break, that I'm going to make them take the day with me and declutter, because they have been having a really hard time keeping their room clean, and they know that if they have too many things to keep their room clean, that's kind of a good sign that we need to declutter. Luckily, I have done this with them since they were really little, so they're really good at it. But Freyas' room is definitely always easier because she's at an age where she doesn't need to help. She doesn't even notice when I declutter her stuff. So hers I'll get done soon, but probably over spring break I will work on the boys' room. Like I said, they really, really need to downsize what they have, because I told them literally this day after picking them up from school that they need to get better at maintaining their room, because I usually can't even send the vacuum in here because I'm afraid of what it's going to suck up that's on the floor. And we have a lot of sand down here, so the vacuum running on a daily basis between dog hair and sand is very important. So definitely going to have to work a little bit harder at them keeping their rooms clean. They're really good, and you know, for the most part, their room for a kid's room isn't the worst thing in the world, but I do like to instill in the kids good habits. And to try and keep the room to my standards. Obviously, that may not always happen. That's life. But I'm trying to teach them slowly but surely. I know they'll get a hang of it.
Go higher if we keep our faith if we keep our faith. Sometimes I'm like a whisper in a riot, but I grow stronger, keep believing in me. So you're believing in me. You're believing in me. Say you're believing in me. You're believing in me. Say you're believing in me.
Also, if you're new here, I want to quickly take this time to introduce myself because I often forget to do that, and I'm so used to chatting with you guys like you've been here since forever that I know some of you guys are new and don't have a clue of who I am. So my name is Cambriea. I am a mom of 3. I am currently, well, actually with you seeing this video, 12 weeks pregnant with baby number 4. Actually, I'm doing this voiceover right before my ultrasound, so hopefully just baby number 4. It's my first ultrasound. Hoping there's not twins. If you were on my live on Sunday, you would have heard that whole chit-chat of everyone in my family telling me I'm pregnant with twins and me kind of freaking out about the idea and really looking forward to that ultrasound to confirm that it's just one baby and not 2 babies. We shall see. But me and my husband and our 3.5 children live in Florida. We live in the Volusia County area, so near Daytona Beach. And we recently moved here from the Wisconsin, like Milwaukee, Madison area. We lived in between Milwaukee and Madison, so if you're from Wisconsin, you know where that is. Last summer in June, right after the kids got done with school. And we have completely renovated this new house since moving in. So there's been a ton of changes in this house. That's actually a lot of what you're going to see in my most recent videos are renovations in this past year. But I love to focus on homemaking and cleaning and organizing and everything like that on my channel. So cleaning my boys' room is not a regular basis thing. If you're on my channel, you guys know that. But I do find it important that every once in a while me just come in and give their room a good reset. It's kind of just ingrained in my head. I remember as a kid when my parents would tell me to go clean my room, and I would feel so overwhelmed and just anxious and all of these things that I have definitely made it with my kids that they do need to maintain a clean room, but every once in a while, I like to go in there and just give it a good reset because I know I get a lot less overwhelmed as an adult cleaning the room compared to what I remember as a kid. So I do like to come in here every once in a while. Obviously, Freyas Room, you guys see a lot more because she's 2, so she's learning, but she's 2. So, also, I love this function with these windows. In the old house, I could pull down the bottom window, but I couldn't do it with the top window. So being able to clean the inside and outside of these windows this easy is amazing. It is literally a dream come true because it makes life so much easier that when I'm cleaning a window, that I can just clean the inside and outside in one quick step instead of cleaning the inside and then going all the way outside to clean the outside. So absolutely love this feature with these new windows. Plus the idea that they stay closed on their own. The windows when we moved in were original windows, and literally in the kids' rooms, I noticed when we had a pressure system change that their windows opened on their own. We ended up having to put a lock system on them so they wouldn't randomly open and whatnot. So getting windows was definitely a necessity for our electric bill and for like just safety of the kids that I'm not locking their windows closed because that's not a good thing. But at the same time, like I don't want their windows just opening on their own either.
It's all so clear. I can't get away, can't run away, I can't get away. You're bringing on the heartache. 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 You're making sure I don't get no sleep. I'm wide awake every night. Can't escape. No other seemed to move you like you did.
And once again, while the vacuum was running in the boys' room, I went back into Freyas' room, like I said, trying to multitask and get multiple things done at the same time. So knowing the vacuum was out of here, I knew I could go in her room and put this rug tape down. Oh, other reason I love that I put this rug tape down was now with vacuuming, these rugs are very light. So my vacuum would often like suck up the rug. I did notice though that this tape didn't want to stick to the plastic portion of her rug. It stuck to the fabric edges, but you're gonna see like it's kind of weird because it did not want to stick to the actual rubber part, which is fine. After I figured that out, this side was a lot easier than the first side, and it still holds itself down really well, so I'm not worried about it sliding all over the place or stuff getting under it that I don't want it. But it is like not such a strong adhesive that I can't pull it up if I need to remove it or change the rug or clean it or any of those things. It makes a huge difference, like I said, especially with these kids' rugs that are super, super light and they like to move all over the place.
Can't run away, I can't get away. You're bringing on the heartache. 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 You're bringing on the heartache.
So for anyone that saw my live on Sunday, or maybe you watched it after the live, I'm curious what you guys all thought of it. I really enjoyed it. Like, I love just hanging out with you guys. The idea that I was on there for over 2 hours, I was really surprised. Like, it did not seem that long until I looked at the clock when Freya wanted to go swimming, and I was like, oh shoot, yeah, it's been a while. But I'm curious what you guys thought about it, because like I said, I enjoyed it, but wondering if you guys did as well. I know I put up a poll asking you guys if I should do it weekly, bi-weekly, once a month, how I should handle it if you enjoyed it. But if you didn't see the poll, you guys can let me know in the comments down here. Otherwise, go to my community tab on my page and do that poll, just because I like to know what you guys think. I would be okay with anything, honestly. If you guys wanted to chit chat every Sunday, like I said, every other Sunday, once a month Sunday, because I also don't want to like get on your nerves and be like, oh my gosh, Cambria's always on here chatting with us, and then you get bored of me and don't want to be my friends anymore.
I'd rather just lock myself indoors. I'm righteous, this virus, no dog or pill can cure. This pattern won't turn it, you got me by the cord. I'm going down, down, down like a waterfall. You keeping us miles apart. You got me down, down, down like a waterfall. You know just how to restrain a heart.
So if you're wondering what window cleaner I'm using, I know I've mentioned this before, but I get the World's Best Window Cleaner from Walmart. I love this cleaner. I've tried many different ones, and there's other ones that are good, but this is always my go-to when it comes to window cleaners. And then I normally just use a microfiber cloth or like a specific glass cleaning cloth, and they work really, really well. I was actually really enjoying cleaning all the kids' rooms because I hadn't cleaned them since they went in, so they weren't horrible, but they definitely had some dust and everything on the outside that needed to get a good cleaning. This window, though, was a little bit harder because of Freya's netting that hangs over her bed. I was having a hard time, like, not knocking my head into it. So, yeah. Moving this bed also is a little tricky. Bobby made this thing sturdy for sure. Like, it is a bomb-proof bed that he made, which is a good thing. We want it to be sturdy and good for the Freya. And we're also thinking that possibly if baby number 4 is a girl, well, if it's a girl, she'll definitely end up sharing a room with Freya once she gets old enough. But we may end up just adding on to that bed and turning it into a, like, bunk bed as well, just like the boys have. Oh, and a lot of you guys have been asking about the quail and where we're at. So, based off of like average calculations, the quail should be hatching next Friday. Obviously, they could come a little early, but on average, it's 18 days. So if you guys want to keep like closer tabs on the quail, follow me on Instagram. It's just Living with Cambriea over there as well. And you guys can watch because it's going to be a lot easier to give live updates on Instagram than over here on YouTube. But yeah, next Friday, they should be hatching. Like I said, it could be a day sooner. It could be a day later. That's more of just a approximate on that. I know I've had some people say that they hatch on day like 15, which hopefully that is not the case because that's the day they're supposed to go on lockdown. And I know I follow a girl, what's her name? The Hot Mess Homestead on TikTok. And she literally just had duck hatching that started hatching on lockdown day for her. And the reason that can be bad is you're supposed to jump up the humidity when they're hatching so that they don't like shrink wrap themselves. And you have to take out the egg turner because there's an egg turner. There's just all sorts of stuff that go along with incubating eggs. Luckily, her ducks hatched, but I'm really hoping that mine don't start pipping on day 15 when I'm supposed to go into lockdown because this is my first ever time incubating eggs, and I really, really don't want to mess it up. So I wanted to share that because I know a lot of times that when you're watching these cleaning videos, it looks like so much is getting done all at once because of the way it's edited, and that's just not real life. Like, I really did push to get their bedrooms done right away in the morning. I want to make sure they were completely clean before Freya went down for a nap, and before the boys got home from school and everything. But once the kids got home from school, like, I took a break for a while just to hang out with them. They wanted to go swimming and things like that. And then I got back to cleaning. I did get the new containers for the pantry. So this basket was actually from the pantry, and it fit under this table, which I was excited about because it looks a lot better than all of these CDs and DVDs and everything showing. So I just transferred it. I love wicker baskets. When it comes to organizing and keeping things looking nice, wicker baskets are my best friend. You'll see I have them all over the house, but I feel like I can put them under this table. It still looks really nice, but it's practical because I have all of those things I need. I also have them in that entryway table to hold blankets and everything. I know. I feel like you can't go wrong with wicker baskets, and even if I'm not using one at the moment, I always store them because I always find really good purposes for them.
Now I'm moving closer to you, and it's getting dark in this room. Tell me what you wanna do. Baby, let me love you, let me love you. Let me love you, let me love you. Baby, let me love you, let me love you. Let me love, baby, let me love you, let me love you. Let me love you, let me love you. Baby, let me love you, let me love you. Let me love, baby, let me love.
So I also just did a huge revamp on my Amazon storefront during my live. One thing I noticed is I have not done a good revamp on my Amazon storefront since moving. So a lot of the stuff there I may not use anymore, or is like decor from the old house and stuff like that. So I wanted to revamp that. But now just getting into making dinner for the night. Like I said, I was craving Noodles and Company's mac and cheese, which is nowhere near me. So I am making my homemade mac and cheese, which is 2 cups of half and half, 2 cups of milk, and then a block of cream cheese with all my seasonings. So salt, pepper, paprika, garlic, all the good stuff. And I just kind of let that simmer there to let that block of cream cheese melt down. And then obviously I have the water on the side with a bunch of salt to boil the noodles.
Let me love you. Think I'll stop playing hard. As a matter of fact, I will never ever pretend that I'm more than that. It is hard, that I know, but I'm scared as hell. Can you please just comfort me? You know so well this is tough, but I know we can make this work. I'm in love and it feels so great.
Now, as all of that works down, I am shredding all the cheeses. I want to get Jesse at Home, one of my best friends here on YouTube, has a really cool like cheese shredder that you just crank and it automatically shreds. I need to get one of those. I haven't yet though, so I do it by hand. I am using sharp cheddar, Colby Jack, and mozzarella as my 3 cheeses that I'm shredding. I feel like the more cheese, the better. I am from Wisconsin, so may live in Florida, but I am from Wisconsin, so cheese is my friend. But you can really use whatever cheese you like. If you want some kick to it, add some pepper jack cheese, add some Gruyere. Don't know if I'm saying that right. My mom makes like a super fancy mac and cheese. It has like 6 different cheeses in it. So you can get creative with this. These are the 3 that I use. I feel like they don't test the limits too much for the kids. So I also always make extra pasta than what I need. So if that looks like a lot, it is, but I like having just some plain pasta to put in the fridge. Makes super easy lunches when the kids just want their buttered noodles with salt. But now working on the roux, I'm going to use a stick of butter with a 1/4 cup of flour and 2 heaping tablespoons of garlic. Now, you don't need to use that much garlic. I love garlic, and I measure it with my heart, and my heart wanted a lot. So when it comes to seasonings, I always say measure with your heart because everyone's taste buds are a little bit different. But once you've let that cook for about 4 to 5 minutes to get rid of the flour taste, you add your simmering cream and slowly add all your cheeses. You do want to keep some of your cheese to the side though to top it, and you'll see me doing that here in a little bit. But yeah, do a little bit of cheese at a time, let it mix and melt, and then add more. You'll see me do that with each cheese. I just add some of it, mix it, add a little bit more, mix it some more. Now, once you have everything incorporated and melty goodness, then you're going to add in all your noodles and just lightly toss it around. I don't mess with it too much because it's going... Oh, also when you cook your noodles, don't cook them 100% of the way because I am putting this in the oven. And it's going to cook a little bit more in there, and you don't want your noodles mushy. So do not overcook your noodles. But yeah, I just toss it around. I add a little bit of noodles at a time, and then once it's all incorporated nicely, I put it into a 9x13. This is also a meal that I love making a lot of because it freezes really well. So I can make it, we'll eat half of it tonight, and then the other half another night, and it's awesome. We normally make it as a main dish. You can make this as a side also, but for me, this is something that's always really filling, and I don't need anything on the side to go with it. Now, I cooked this at about 350 for maybe 20 minutes. It's pretty much just until that cheese is nice and golden and pretty on top. You can also add like Ritz crackers on top, which is always really good, and I love the crunch of it. But Xander is really weird with textures, and any crunchy bits he does not like. So I forego the Ritz crackers for him. But end of the night here, it is time to clean up the giant mess I made with making dinner. Yeah, it's a big mess. Plus, obviously, some dishes from lunch and stuff that got forgotten. Often, I won't clean up right after dinner and stuff because I'm just tired and want to go to bed. However, if I make a meal that makes a lot of dishes and a lot of mess, I like to clean up because it's definitely not something I want to wake up to. So I always try to fit as much as possible into my dishwasher. That way I don't have to wash everything by hand. But obviously there was a good amount of stuff that I had to do by hand. Also, the water was just running because I was waiting for it to get hot. That way as I was washing, I didn't need to worry about waiting then. So I was not just wasting water, I promise. I was getting it all heated up. That way as I started cleaning, that I didn't need to wait for the water to heat up at that point. I also had people asking on my live about the Dawn Power Wash and what I think about it, and I have to say I am obsessed with Dawn Power Wash. Not just for dishes, like it makes cleaning dishes so easy because I just do a little bit of a spray and then scrub it down and everything. But also, like, if I'm cleaning anything with hard water stains, luckily we have a water softener in this house, so I don't deal with that a lot, except when If our sprinklers hit our windows on the exterior of the house, we have well water that does our sprinklers, and that's pretty harsh water. So Dawn power wash with some vinegar always cleans it really, really well.
Million thoughts are flying from my head. Let's kiss them away and stay in my bed. Just to know that you are mine. I am floating on it, and I wanna let this show. But I know how this goes. It's supposed to feel incredible. We had changed, but not that much. Guess our memories are catching up.
Oh, that's what else I wanted to talk about. I've been getting a lot of people wondering what the next project is in the house or what's left to do in the house. And there's not a crazy amount left. Obviously, like, I'm sure there's always going to be like little refreshes, but when it comes to like big projects, there's not a ton of big projects left to go. Big thing is the nursery, which my uncle is building a house in Margaritaville, and I'm really waiting for that house to be built before I start on the nursery, because currently it is holding on to our old bed that we are giving my uncle, and then the kids' bathroom and the built-ins in the family room. So those are the last three that we were waiting on. Just waiting for finances and everything to level out with tax season and all these renovations before we really start on any of those other big projects other than the nursery. The nursery, once we are able and don't have that room being used as storage, we will be starting in the nursery fairly soon.
You're my soul, my heart, my beautiful. You're my first, my last, my wonderwall, and I just can't seem to get enough. It's because I love you most of all.
I absolutely always love cleaning out my sink. One, I love having a single basin, but these scrub, I think this is technically the Scrub Mommy, where it has the sponge side and the really scrubbable side, are my favorite of the Scrub Daddy lines. Like, the Scrub Daddies are fine, but I feel like this is more convenient because it has the two-sided of it. I have multiple of these and use them on the regular, especially if you get the power paste with them. They work so well.
A picture of you. You're standing by that window.
And then these are just little lemon scented deodorizers for your disposal. I like using these when I see them just because they're super simple, or I'll just use essential oil and just kind of throw them down. It's the basic principle where you just put them in and have a little bit of water like dripping to the side and run your garbage disposal, and it just gives a really nice fragrance to everything. I feel like with your garbage disposal, you have to stay on top of it, especially with like food and all the grime and stuff that ends up in your sink area. I'm just refilling my thieves cleaner here. I use about a capful, but I don't measure it anymore. I kind of just dump it in there. But I go through one of these bottles often because you guys see me use it all the time. It's the main cleaning product that I will grab for when I am cleaning.
For hours, and we stay up all night. And when morning came, we make breakfast in bed. I don't know why I threw away what we had. What's wrong with me? I don't know why I threw it all away. And I remember every day that I spent with you.
Now, one thing I do try to do every single night is, one, wiping down the counters, but two, like making sure everything is off the floor. because this is my favorite time to run our robot vacuum. The dogs aren't getting their dog toys out and in the way. The kids' toys won't be in the way because they're in bed and everything. Now on this night, I am going to end up using my wet vac, which I love using my wet vac. It's one of those tools that you don't realize how much you need it till you have it. But it's a game changer, especially when you have pets. Like, I used to talk about all the time where it didn't matter if I swept and vacuumed before mopping, there was still hair on the floor when I mopped. So I love that this allows me to mop and vacuum all at the same time, picking up the dog hair and the crumbs and stuff like that. But even with doing that, I will still run my robot vacuum throughout the whole house, other than like bedrooms, before going to bed. So I always like putting the chairs on the counter, which I know is always a controversial subject, and making sure all the toys are picked up, just everything, nothing that the vacuum would suck up or get in the way of its doing its cleaning job.
I followed you at the window. I fast but not fit for so long. I picked you up and tried again. It's time for me to go solo. You never cared about me, did ya? That's why it's hard to.
I also know a lot of people always ask about these different wet vacs. So I have used the Bissell. I have used, this is my Dream Tech, and then I also use my Roborock. I feel like most of them work very, very similar. There's minor differences to all of them. Some of them, the ease of cleaning is a little bit different. The other ones, they have better like edge-to-edge cleaning, things like that. But I don't think any of them at this point, I would say, are better or worse than the other. And prices are usually nearly the same. I grab for this one most of the time because I feel like cleaning out the dog hair on this one is easier than some of the other ones I've used. But like I said, I think that's totally personal preference because I know other people that completely feel differently. So I kind of think it's like vacuums. It all depends on your specific scenario of which one would work best for you. But the Roborock and this one is the one that you see most often on my channel. And partially, not that Bissell was ever bad, it's just I didn't need 3 of them. So I actually gave my Bissell to my sister. So that is where a lot of that stuff comes from. But I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Fit for so